doing that. Hi everybody. Got my mind on too many things. Hi everybody, we're back. Yay.
Yay.
Thanks for joining us. Yes. Oh, we got a list tonight. We we started putting stuff together and it's a long one. We got a ton of stuff. So and I'm gonna make a reminder. Whoops! Don't hit that. That when I switch to the iPad, we're not gonna have us go mute this time. It's gonna be an exciting
Okay.
moment. It's gonna be very thrilling. Yes. Hey, Lori Mann with us. Hey, Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little rain. Yeah, we got a little rain. Yep. Kelly Lee. Hey, good to have you, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Yep.
Yeah, I see we enabled Kelly.
We did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, that I gotta order up a box or two, because I gotta make one of those. Yeah, those. If you didn't see it, it was Sunday, right?
Yes.
Done so many
Yes.
shows here in the last few weeks. We've been in a recording, or just a recording factory here. For a while, it was hand to mouth. Record one during the week to put up Sunday, and now it's been, I don't know, at least two a week. I've got two scheduled next week, I think. It's just been, everything has come together. So, which is great,
good.
but at some point you just forget what you're doing.
hmm
Yeah. Just a minute. There it is. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I ever told this story. Did I tell you the Gordon Weiermuller effect? When I was a rookie editor at Chemical Processing was the magazine. I was a rookie, and you were responsible for two sections. Mine was pollution control, and I forget what the other one was. But you had to have two articles and then a bunch of products in that area every issue.
hmm
And you had to come up with the stuff. They were case histories, so they weren't too hard to come up with if you had the context. Well, as a rookie, you don't have the context, you don't have the feed, And it's hard. It's hard. You're a constant scramble. And one day I was just beside myself because deadlines don't move. And and I was just I don't know. I was saying something, and there was this a veteran, like he retired a couple years later, Gordon Weiermuller, just this grizzled old guy sitting in his office. He was editor of another magazine, and he said, "What's the problem?" And I said, "Gordon," I said, I can't even get even. I can't get ahead." And he said to me, he said, "Don't worry about it. Just keep plugging away. They'll come when they need to come. You'll have your stories in time. Just keep plugging away." And I took him at his word, and that was, well, I did it magazines for almost 50 years, and never let me down. They always showed up, and it was always, "Thank you, Gordon." Yep, and the same thing happens here. Just when you think you're not going to have a Sunday show, one comes through, you just keep plugging away, and they come through, and it's always, "Thank you, Gordon." Yep, yeah. I remember him sitting there, right? That old guy sitting there in the office. I was, all of maybe 25, and yeah, "Don't worry about it. It'll come. Just keep plugging away. It'll take care of itself." Okay, Gordon. But right now, the editor's screaming at me, "Where's your stories?" Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah. Long ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah.
hmm
So, Sunday, Brenda Stimpson of Poppy Monk Needlepoint Kits. We've got a bunch of needlepoint people lately, just kind of we're just kind of tapped into a vein. But it's interesting because she uses printed canvas. That is getting to be a thing. That
Yes.
the technology is finally catching up, and printed canvases are starting to be a legit thing. And of course, that takes the cost level, the entry barrier to painted canvas down considerably. And she uses
That's
that,
nice.
but then she had her business model is putting kits together at, well, she has kits for kids, but then she
Oh,
has beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and so she
good.
puts her kits together like that, which I thought for with all these young people getting into needlepoint was excellent thinking. And
Hmm.
printed kits so they're affordable and people can jump in and experience needlepoint. So she's Sunday. I thought that was um, really good. So yeah, Poppy Monk needlepoint kits. Um, yeah, and then I got to get my box. So we're hassling Kelly Lee a little bit because that was last Sunday, right, when we had Claudia on. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Check
Yes.
her out at Colorway Arts. You got to check out the boxes because we talked to Amanda Metas today, who is a needlepoint finisher. We recorded a show with her, and she had a box and actually used the word cartonnage.
Yeah.
So, and she had a box that had a top where she could just, it looked like you just inserted it into a slot, didn't it?
Yeah. I actually would have liked to learn more about that.
Yeah, I was afraid to go off on that tangent because I thought we'd never come back, so I let it go.
Right.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
wanted to know where she got her box because those were just, it was a real nice plain box.
Oh, I
Um,
think she made it.
oh, yeah. Oh, you think she legit made it? Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Okay. But yeah, these boxes, Claudia's Colorway Arts. These are legit finishing boxes. What Lori Mann's here, we talked about her in the show. She wrapped her a piece around. Is that Lori that did that?
Yes.
Lori
Yeah.
did it, but which piece did she do? I can't remember. Lori, what
She
did
did
you
the
do?
she did a kiss lock box. And what I'd like to know is, did you put any kind of a backing on it, on the needlework? Because the linen is more open than um, quilt fabric,
Yeah.
and you're using a fair amount of glue. I mean, if you use too much glue, it'll even come through the quilt fabric. But Beth and I don't know, Beth and I were talking about it on uh, messaging each other about this, wondering if
Right.
you would have to put some interfacing or something on the back of your needlework to
Yeah.
prevent the glue. So, Lori, did you do anything?
Yeah. Help us
Yeah,
out,
let
Lori.
us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Amanda today was talking when she first started finishing, she was using hot glue. And when she started talking about hot glue with needlework, and she said, and hot glue got on her needlework, and I thought, oh man, no way.
Yeah, yeah.
But
There are a lot of finishers that do use hot glue. I don't know if they're gluing the uh, twisted cord on. My guess is they're not,
yeah,
except when they secure it.
yeah,
But I don't know that. I just, I've been watching YouTube videos.
right. Well, yeah. Here now, this is the moment where I'm going to go to the iPad, so we got to make sure it did mute, and I unmuted it. So,
Yay.
um, yeah. So here's Cindy's.
So this is the toolbox, the small toolbox, and I made this for my nail tech. So it's got a latch, and the lid opens out, and uh, it'll lay flat, so you don't have to worry. She didn't use anything on the stitching, was very careful with the thin layer of glue. Okay,
Oh,
well,
okay.
that's good to know.
All
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
yeah. So she really likes the Nightmare Before Christmas. So that's what this fabric is. It's Nightmare Before Christmas fabric.
Okay. And then
And
I did this
Well,
wrong.
that was a good job, though, Cindy, because you got everything straight. I mean, because you didn't want those people going kind of sideways across your box.
right.
Oh, And
And
then
this one is an organizer, and this was also a gift from my nail tech.
Cindy takes care of her nail tech.
You better believe it. And this is the sewing kit. And so it just folds in half, and the orange is an elastic that wraps around it to hold it shut.
Okay.
And so on the right hand side on the top is a little pocket, and below that the orange is a little pincushion. And then on the other side, the pocket is for your scissors.
And then that's
And then
chipboard in as the backbone
mhm,
for the
yeah.
yeah.
So these are all Colorway Arts kits. And then I also I have the very first one that I did in person, because this is the only one I haven't given away.
Yeah, what Lori's saying, the Kiss Lock boxes have a slot.
And you probably have to be careful not to let it get thick. You mean the glue thick or the fabric thick?
I think it's the fabric, because the Kiss Lock box has a long kind of a frame that the fabric and the chipboard go into, for it. Kiss
Oh,
Lock is one of those things that kind of uh, like two balls that kind of flip together to hold it
Oh,
shut. I
yeah,
don't know how to describe it.
yeah.
So there's, and I think the frame goes all the way around the three sides. It's been a while since I looked at it. But you have to get the chipboard and the the fabric um, lined, the fabric on the chipboard, that has to be able to go into that metal frame.
Okay,
yeah, now I
okay.
remember.
And
Yeah.
Sandy, we talked about that in the show. I mean, these are serious. I mean, it's heavy duty chipboard. It's really. It's wood. It's thick wood or thin wood. It'll hold up for a long time.
Yeah. So I have a kit here. So this is the tea box, and I think Beth probably has her tea box to show.
Yeah.
And here's what's and the other materials you need to make the box is a couple of pieces of fabric, a fat quarter, charm or a tassel if you want, and then glue, cutting board, rotary cutter, all that kind of stuff. And then everything is already cut. So this is the chipboard.
Yeah, that's going to last a long time. Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean this is it bends a little bit. So this must be the grain goes this way because this bends a little bit this way. This way it's very, very stiff. So uh, the thing that she does that I think that Claudia does that makes this easy is you cover, the chipboard pieces, and you make your box. But then for the outside, you have to cover the outside somehow. So what she gives you is, she calls this poster board, but it's a very lightweight poster board. And you cover this with fabric and then put that on the outside of your box, so it covers the, I don't know if you can see, there's like two layers here.
yeah.
There's a thick one and then the thin one. So on the thick one, the fabric wrapped around from the inside and over.
So the poster board then covers the overwrap.
Poster board covers the overwrap.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So,
Sandy, you were asking. Oh, go ahead.
oh, the fun thing about it is that you can use, lots of different, you've got coordinating fabrics. You can have fun with colors.
Yeah. And it's bring your own fabric. She doesn't have fabric.
Actually, she does have fabric,
Well, I thought she said
but
she
that
didn't have it.
not in the kit.
Oh.
You can buy fabric
Oh.
from her,
Oh, okay.
but
Mm-hmm.
it's not included in the kit.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Now, this was my very first box, and I can see some issues, here at the corners, but that's only because I know what to look for.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody else, everybody else that looks at it, is just like amazed. It looks like it's,
Well,
perfect.
it does. Yeah, and for a first one, and I said that in the show. When I first saw that, all I could think was that my first one is going to be bubbles and wrinkles. And the way then you watch the video and you see how it's done, and no, they're not. They're not. Just follow her
No.
instructions. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the
And all the
go ahead.
pieces are numbered. I don't know if you can see it. There's a number on each of the pieces. So the other thing is that when you buy a kit and you open it up and look on the inside, she gives you a link and a code. The link is to a PDF of the instructions, and you have to put the code in to get
Hmm.
access to the instructions. But it's in every kit, and the link is to the specific instructions for your kit.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have to guess at all. It's all laid out.
Don't have
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
No.
But the,
No.
the thing that
And
the thing to think about is incorporating your needlework. Because do you have your tea box there, Beth?
yes.
Because to me, you can make the box, and boxes are nice, but we have so much needlework. What are you going to do with it? And because Beth took this thing.
Yes.
So it's easy to. I just did a circular mount. I made the box like instructed. It doesn't quite close because my tea bags are too big. But and then I did this stitch story because I love this teapot with the teacups on it, and I thought, I'm just not going to hang this in my kitchen. But this is perfect. Every time I make myself a cup of tea, there it is, sitting there,
Mhm.
decorating my box.
Yep, it works
So,
great. Yeah, but
yeah.
you have those, and I think of the stitch stories, and then the Avlia embroidered circles. And I hold my
Hmm.
fingers up here in a circle as if someone can't imagine what a circle is. That's
Right.
that's how that's me being visually helpful. See, but there's all kinds of that stuff that you can use, and like Lori wrapping things, and Beth, you and I were having a discussion about cutting up portafette
Right.
and wrapping that around a box. There's
Hmm.
there's all kinds of things you can do with your needlework that will give it another way to finish it, and that doesn't have to go to a finisher. You can just do it. You can just do it yourself. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And
And
Sandy asks,
I bought one of the new Rosewood Manor charts at the market.
Hmm.
It's the long mile or something like that. It's just lots of bands of flowers and stuff, which would be perfect.
Sure.
And so the way this is finished is it's one long piece of fabric that wraps all the way around. So you just stitch your whatever on that, and then put you know wrap it around.
Yeah.
So you'd have to do some planning so that you would know what size your stitched area has to be for whatever box you're doing.
Right. Right.
mhm,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. What Lori says here. Oh, that's Deb. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Deb.
I didn't. I forgot. I can only put up the last one. So Lori says her medium box has Mary Queen of Scots cross stitch on it. So,
Oh,
yeah.
That's neat.
But you need to think
So,
about that because Amanda, that we talked to today, she had a box that had a slot in the top, and then she just had a patterned needlepoint piece that she'd put some what's that backing called? What's that white backing you put on stuff you iron on?
Interfacing?
Interfacing. Thank you. She just put that on and just slides it in the slot, and then she can change it out whenever you want. And I just think these are a way for people to finish stuff instead of having it in a drawer. You know, put it to use.
Right.
Right.
So
And Sandy, you were asking, she does have boxes that have drawers in them. I don't know if they're
Yes.
hidden behind. She does have a club. Some of those boxes are behind the paywall of the club, but I don't know. I haven't checked lately to see what's on the just in the shop and what's in the club.
Yeah. I'm not sure either.
But 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 I since we brought up the Cartonnage Club, I was a member of the club for a while, and I did drop my membership for right now because I wasn't making as many boxes as I thought I would. But if I can get through the boxes that I have, I probably will rejoin the club because I like the idea of having these are great. These boxes are great to store things, store your threads, I store my tea, things you use every day so you can see them.
Hmm.
They're no longer just for me stuck in a box in my basement stitched and not finished because I don't hang things necessarily on the wall.
yeah, but yeah, there's one with a drawer in it and some storage in the top, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And that beautiful fabric.
I
But couldn't
love
you
that.
see like I could see, doing some of those Barbara Anna the
Hmm.
Barbara Anna cross stitch patterns. They're kind of whimsy.
Yeah.
Now you'd have to fit them in there,
Hmm.
but man, that would be fun.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, it just the fact that it popped up today with a needlepoint finisher, and she said cartonnage, and it was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we need
Ears
to,
perk up.
yeah, well, yeah, because if it hadn't been for Claudia, I wouldn't even know what. Well, it hadn't been for you, wouldn't even know what cartonnage is. But yeah, so it's something to check out. Colorwayarts.com is the website for Claudia, and yeah, it's a different
Hmm.
world, but a fun thing. And what both of you guys have said numerous times that building these things is just not that hard. Um,
No, no, you
Her
just follow the
instructions are
instructions.
great. She has lots of good photos.
Yeah, it's not hard, and the scariest part is making sure your walls are straight. You don't want leaning tower of boxes.
yeah,
But she gives you instructions even for that. Do this so your box is straight. Check this here. This is where you should check this. Be careful here at this
uh,
point,
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I
which I
remember
find helpful.
I remember the video I watched. She had several times a little medallion in the top right corner there that tip, and then she would launch into how to make sure you don't make this mistake or do this so you don't you come out the other side the way it's supposed to. And yeah, she's very helpful.
And if you do it a lot, she's got tools that can help. She's got some little corner bracket things that, once you've got your corners glued together, you can put this little plastic bracket on it that keeps it square and holds it until it's dry.
Hmm.
So if you're doing a lot of boxes, that, it's worth it to get those tools.
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a cool thing.
Hmm.
And another way, another way. Um, we're working on this. I'm pretty excited about this. We're working on a project. We're in the early stages with Inspirations magazine, and uh, we're the plan right now is to give it a test with the next issue, where the idea was whenever I see the magazine and see the projects, I want to know more about what was behind the project and more about, in many cases, more about the designer.
Mhm.
And they don't have space for that because they have to use those pages to put the instructions in and so on and so forth. So the conversation was, what if Fiber Talk interviews these designers and get some of their background, and they use some people a lot, so we wouldn't need to do their background. And we've talked to several of them, so it's there's a lot of them. But then, what's behind the project? Where'd it come from? And then maybe some tips. Here's some things to watch out for. Here's a difficult area. This area you might consider changing. All kinds of things we can do with it. So we're having discussions right now to potentially start doing that for all of the designers in the next issue of Inspirations magazine. And so we'd interview them, and then I don't know how they would design it, but I assume some kind of a box in the article for that design, and then a link to our usual links. And so we'd have a video and an audio. At least that's the plan. A visual and audio, same kind of thing that we would do. But then you would be able to, if you're a subscriber, be able to learn more about the project and or the designer. So pretty excited. We just had one conversation about it, but it looks like we're going to give it a try and see how it goes. And we're in that, okay, we agree that it's going to work. All right, let's write down some details and sort it out and see how it plays out. We're in that phase, but so I think it's going to be cool if we can make it happen. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, fun. We have a TikTok account. I caved. Basically, I caved. So we now have a TikTok account, and I caved, but it's. I mean, that's where you have to go to reach the young people.
Right.
TikTok. So I'm learning how to post at TikTok, and I need to get better at posting more, but it takes time. But if you have TikTok, if you follow that, we do have a TikTok account now, and you can go there. You can add us to the thing, and like everything else, spread the word so we get more followers, because we're way behind a whole lot of people. But there's a lot of needlepoint, a lot of young people doing needlepoint on TikTok.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, yep. So if you're interested in that, that is an option. And of course, our Patreon is also an option if you want to support us and get extra content. And the newest video is we did with Robin, and these are so cool. These Kickback and Stitch designs, and they're named for, like, this is Cassatt. They're named for famous painters, and this is Matisse. These are all Robins. And then she took the painter's threads from, I knew I'd forget the name. What is it? Painter's threads from
Thread nuts.
Thread Nuts. Thank you.
Well, Thread Nuts is a distributor.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she took the painter's threads that are named for the artist and matched them up, and then stitched these. And so the latest video on Patreon is what she did with these and how she put these together. We talk about 10 of them. These are just 3, obviously, but we talk about 10 of them. But that's the latest thing on Patreon. Really a cool project. She had a lot of fun with that, with colors and monkeying around. Jane Garrison, Thread Nuts, yes. And Jane Garrison we interviewed a long time ago, and you can look that up. Yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
Right. And lots of other stores carry the painter's threads also, but maybe not the full line.
Yeah.
So, Robin used, what'd she say, number 5 pearl cotton?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Which we went to Designer's Desk in Illinois because she had
Not Designer's Desk.
not Designer's Desk, thank you. They're long gone. Stitcher's
Right.
Garden, Stitcher's Garden in Naperville, because she had a trunk show, and she had, I don't know if she had all of them, but she sure had a lot of them. So we could see, you know, she has pearl cottons, she has cotton floss, there's rayon, there's metallics, there's uh, gimp. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And these kickback and stitch, these are little pieces, like 4x4 or something like that. They're not big projects at all. I mean, so that's the other cool thing is, they're not 6 month projects at all. And kickback and stitch, those are old charts, been around a long time, but I think they're $5 a piece. I think that's what it was. What is the name of the site that you guys use?
Alex Paris,
Alex Paris, yeah,
Paras.
yeah. So you can get, and there's a ton of them, just a ton of
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
They don't have all of them on there. If you go to Custom House Needleworks, I think it is, they show the full line. So if you found something there that you wanted that Alex Paris didn't have, you could call so Alex Paris is the online store for Thistle Needleworks. So you could call Thistle, and they're in Connecticut.
yes,
I thought so.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
correct.
So you could call them and say, "Hey, can you get this particular chart?"
Yeah, yeah,
And they should be able to get it for you.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, so $5 for a chart, and then whatever, and these are stash, for a lot of these are stash type projects because and there's all kinds of options
Hmm.
for these things. But yeah, it's a quick stitch, relatively quick and easy way to learn just different stitches and just have a lot of fun. Um, they're yeah. So check that out. But that's the latest video on YouTube that
Patreon.
we have, or on Patreon that we have. Geez, I can't keep anything straight today. Um, and then coming up, this is blown up into huge proportions. This is blown out of control, is what it has. Sue Reed. We were talking about, Cindy and I, the last time we did a show together, we were talking about if you have dye lots that don't match. And then we were speculating about how you might blend them. If you just, I'm running out of thread, I get another skein and the dye lots don't match, how you might blend them. They're Robin 6x6 canvas, 18 count. So small pieces. Yeah. So then Sue Reed comes along and talks about how you might do it with satin stitch. And I haven't finished the video yet. It was a technical nightmare to put together, and it's continuing its little life of assembling all the 5 or 6 short videos and getting it all to make sense. I'll get there. But anyway, so that's going to be a Patreon video. And then we talked about it in our monthly Zoom session last week. And then Tim comes back to me, and he's charted out now, because I thought, all right, the satin stitch worked pretty well. Let me try basket weave. And I got a weird pattern. So Tim comes back. We talked about that. So Tim comes back with actually charted out how you might do basket weave and get it to blend, so you could blend 2 dye lots and transition. And so I've got that to test, and I think he's going to send me some pictures, I think. And then Sue comes back here just yesterday, I think it was, and says, I'm sorry I sent you down a rabbit hole. I did some thinking and so she's now figured it out. So this whole thing, when we get it all together, is going to be a fascinating thing of how to blend when you get 2 dye lots that don't match.
And that would be how to blend non-strandable
Right, yeah,
threads.
Right.
Because strandable threads, you can mix, strands from the new skein and strands from the old skein.
right,
And that makes things a little easier. But so many times you've got, whether it's pearl cotton or, any of the silk and
Yeah.
wool threads, pepper pot silk or whatever that are not strandable, where how do you blend those? So that I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
And I know Robin was working on it too, so
Oh,
you
was
may
she?
get something from her too. Oh yeah.
Excellent. All right. Go, Robin, go. Yeah. No, I'd have it done, but we've had so many other recordings, I haven't had a chance to get to it. But I will say that if you wanna wreck number 5 pearl cotton, if you want to completely destroy it, stitch a block with basket weave and then pull it out. Don't cut it out. Pull it out, because you will absolutely destroy it. It is amazing how much damage you can do to a length of thread. Just pulling it out when it's stitched as basket weave. It is, yeah, and it reminded me, doing that basket weave reminded me why I don't do basket weave. Yeah.
And really, that's going to happen with any thread that you
Yeah.
have to pull out
Yeah.
that's stitched in basket weave, because
It's just,
the stitches are so small and it's
yeah.
tight.
Oh yeah, yeah. But oh man, yeah. Because I was, when I was doing the video, I was going to just pull it out and that I'll just reuse the thread. And I got it out of there, and you can't reuse this thread. It's a train
No.
wreck. Yeah. So, yep. So anyway, Patreon is an option there if you're interested in that. And then between the three of us, we got so many projects going. This whole thing, this is ridiculous. Well, I was saying before we started, my room that I cleaned up and got all organized here about 3 weeks ago is probably the worst it's ever been. I mean, there's stuff everywhere. It's just nuts. But I wanted, let's see, who are we going to start with? Well, let's start with Beth. Oh, yeah, because Beth, you got the Phoenix band sampler, and that is, man,
Oh,
you just have all the colors. You have it
gosh,
nailed.
I,
she's killing it.
it
Yeah.
is good. I'm using the Vicky Clayton hand dyed fibers, and then some silks for you and one Gloriana. So I think what I'm going to do, I realize people might want my color conversion. I will post it on the Facebook page. Um, so I work upside down, I know. So I'm starting on that big band that has the flames in it. And I did have to pull out, there's the red, and then underneath the red's like a really dark orange. I used a different shade of that orange, and it just looked bad. So I pulled it out and then reblended it, and I really like it. But
It's beautiful.
it is, it's fun. I'm so yeah. Those flames take a while. You're right, Lori. You're right, Lori. They take a while.
Yeah, she warned everybody.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. Yeah. But lovely, just lovely. And then I've got to do, there's Bargello between the flames, and I'm going to use 2 strands of silk to get some nice coverage there. But yeah, it's fun. It's really nice to stitch.
And that ground
And
fabric, what's the name of that now?
that's Black Swan. And
Black
I'm
Swan.
I'm using 36 count, which I'm glad I'm using 36 count, because I think the 40 would be hard for me
Hmm.
to see with with all the with the specialty stitches. So many specialty stitches in it.
Yeah.
With
Hmm.
the you've got all the Jessicas and I don't know, crescents or
Crescents
whatever.
and
Yeah. What else does she
yeah.
have in there? The different lengths, kinds of, I call them little road stitches of all different types. You just got to be careful with your counting, and that's where I've run into problems
Mm-hmm.
and had to
Hmm.
rip out and put back in. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'll put my color conversion on the Facebook page for the Phoenix Band Sampler.
Yeah.
I'll take a minute and do that.
You nailed it. I mean, you really have it. And she's doing Black Swan, and I haven't really done much at all on mine, but I'm doing Black Swan washed, because
Yeah.
I forgot that you don't wash over dyed fabric. So, but it was okay. I mean, it took the edge off basically.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, it didn't completely go white or anything. It's still a Black Swan. It's just not as dark as
Hmm.
best. So, ooh, Lori's showing off here. Yeah, yeah. I'm ready to get past the flames. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
go,
sure.
Lori.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Lori's flying. Yeah. At some
Oh,
point,
that's
send a
a big
photo, Lori,
section.
so we can brag on your behalf. Yeah,
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
we need to
But
do
that's
that.
it's it the I'm anxious for you two to work on yours because it'll look so different because you're both using the fiberlicious fibers,
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
which
we
is
bought the
what you're.
official fibers. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Whatever.
Hmm.
Right.
And so I'm curious to see how it looks
Yeah.
Yeah, I
in
think about
comparison.
it every once in a while.
Mine's sitting right over there. Yep. I can
Yeah,
see it.
we have too many other projects going. It's just like, but this one calls me and like, oh, I got to work on that red and black and yellow. I've got a stitch. I got
Yeah.
a stitch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And was it Kim enabled you or you enabled Kim? But now you're doing the North Carolina sampler. That's a
Well,
beast.
I was thinking about starting it, and then I was like, oh no, I shouldn't start this. And then Kim sent me photos of someone who's flying on it, and I cannot remember her name. She's using Russian tea cake too.
Uh,
I think she's using DMC floss, though. She's doing her own conversion. Anyway, and it's gorgeous. And I was like, okay, that's it. If I don't start it, it'll never get done. So I started. I had, because I cut my fabric to fit in my roller frame, and I had to get a roller frame big enough because it's huge. It
yeah.
uses a half yard of fabric.
Hmm.
What was I thinking? Um, anyway, um, I started in the center, not in the
Is this
center
your start?
center. That's my start. It's upside down. I always stitch upside down, and that's the thistle at the very top center of the sampler.
Okay.
So it's and that's two colors. I'm
Hmm.
using one strand on the 37 count Russian tea cake. I guess that's
Yeah.
what it is.
But
And it's,
that top that top band that alone is that is so
yeah,
gorgeous.
I can imagine. I should measure it. It would be beautiful stitched. Get the trellis stitches grapes in there and put it on the
Yep.
side of a box.
There you go.
Hmm.
Yep. That would work.
Yeah.
It might be too tall. I have to see how many stitches it is up and down.
Get a taller box. You know, not too tall.
It's too long. It's too long too because you got. I guess you just cut it off, make it shorter.
Right. But that for me, that's a beautiful sampler. But that top piece is just
Hmm.
spectacular.
It's
Yeah.
stunning. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It is.
Yeah. In a way, I'd hate to wrap that around a box because
Mm.
you'd only get to see you know, one side of it
Yeah, yeah. You
unless you
have to
turn the
rotate it
box
around.
regularly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Change the box around already. Yep, that's a. There you go. There's a thought.
Yep.
Hmm.
So okay, and you're using Vicky Clayton silks, so you can get that.
Yes.
You can get that chart at Kim has it at Sassy Jacks, and she has Vicky Clayton silks, and Vicky Clayton obviously has silks, and I know Vicky was selling. You could buy them in groups because it's a ton of colors. It's like 4,208 colors, right? Something like that. No,
80,
80 colors, same
80,
difference. Come on, what's the
80,
difference?
80.
What's the
Yeah.
difference?
She and I think Kim too was for a while selling the needlepoint ink, and you didn't have to buy the whole pack. You
Yeah,
could buy it in batches, just to break it up. It's and you use a lot. I've got to. I wonder how much of the green you use because that's a huge color in some of the browns.
hmm
Hmm.
So
yeah. I
yeah.
wanted to ask you, where is that picture? Pardon me while I rifle through pictures and find the one I really want to show. Um, this is where an engineer, you know,
Would be
would
helpful.
would come in handy. Yeah, here, because Vicky's not doing uh, the silks on these little bobbins
But
anymore. She's doing. What's your reaction to that? Is that still okay?
well, yes, I mean because I love her silk so much, I prefer the bobbins. I know people don't like those bobbins, But as you can see, when I have extra thread, I just wrap it around the bobbin and it stays together. Um, and then someone said, well, they were going to take, because they have that hank, the skein, they were going to, and it is wrapped around there somewhere. So you have to take it off that little piece of paper and then wrap it around something else so you get the right length of thread. And I know they sell those things. Then you have to cut it and put it on a floss drop of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it and I thought, I don't like doing that. So I'm not. I'm just putting them all in plastic bags. But I did cut a bunch of postcards up. Um, yeah, but I put them in these plastic bags, just in some Ziploc bags on a ring, and they're separated. Right now, there's two rings because they came in two separate sets. Um, the Vicky Clayton, how I ordered them, so I kept them each in their own little set. I'll probably eventually put them in numerical order because that's the
Mm-hmm.
only way I can think to do it.
Yeah, with 80 different colors, you'd be sorting through
Right.
those forever.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I just don't like floss drops for silk. I,
Yeah.
I mean, I prefer those. I prefer the bobbins, whatever. But she can't. They got too cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm sure they did. Yeah. And the
it was
best
like,
using, get these. These are so handy.
mm-hmm,
These cable keychain type things. What are they
mm-hmm.
called? 6-inch wire keychain cable from Jeff Bezos himself. Because
he makes them.
yeah, he does
Yeah.
in his spare time. Yeah, but these are so cool and they're so useful, especially when you have a lot of threads. Why do I shake? Use these. But they're excellent because you can do this with them. You can join them, so you can make them as long as you want, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just really really handy to have when you're stringing together a bunch of stuff, like when you're stringing together all these plastic bags.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'll probably do them. I've got to go back, and I'll put them in numerical order, and I'll do groups together. So you know, so that makes sense to me that when I'm searching for a number, I can find it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Because all on one big ring would be way too many on one big ring.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, and I know people do the floss drops, but I knew I wasn't going to be happy with that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
quickly went and put everything in bags.
But these,
It
yeah,
was
these
faster.
things are just great because you can make
Hmm.
a loop just as big as you want. You just keep adding to them,
Yes.
and they're flexible, so you're not like those metal key rings. There's no give to those, and there's no
Right.
way
Hmm.
to add to them. And but yeah, these are really great, and they're cheap. I mean, they are not expensive at all. I don't know
No.
how many came in this package, but it was a bunch of them. So um, yeah, check that out if you're doing that kind of stuff. Um, Worth it. Yeah. And then Dorset buttons. All right, now, all right. So, okay, this is where we overlap because uh, I've been wanting to play with Dorset buttons, and after talking with Gina B at Gina B Silkwork, I wanted to try Dorset buttons, and then you were playing with them, and that inspired me to give it a whirl. So I've been playing, and I discovered one thing. I discovered because Gina has these plastic things that you wrap thread on when you're
Shuttle.
yeah, shuttle. Thank you. When you're covering the ring.
Okay.
Well, all right. And so I started with a needle, and then I didn't have a long enough thread, so I got about that far around, and then it was going to end it off, and I thought, all right, no, not doing that. And then it was okay if I'm not ordering shuttles for $5 from England and paying $50 for postage. That's not happening. And then I think somebody in California had her stuff, And I thought, oh, that's another 4 or 5 days or whatever to get it. So I bought a piece of acrylic and went downstairs and cut it up and made my own shuttle. I just
Yeah.
I just bought a $10 sheet of acrylic and made my own shuttle, um, so that I could wrap a bunch of thread. And so, because what the trick is, you use this instead of a needle to wrap the thread because you want a continuous long length and you need to control the thread. So this becomes your needle. So yeah, I just went downstairs and sanded down and made my own shuttle.
Good job.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
worked. So
Yes.
so I wanted to ask you, and then I've tried twice now, while watching TV because you wrap it using a blanket stitch, and so while watching TV and then not paying attention and then got going the wrong way on the blanket stitch, and then realized after so many stitches that I'd gone the wrong way, and tore it out again. So you got to pay attention, every now and then.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. How did you go the wrong way with the blanket stitch?
I got. I started out and then I don't know what I looked down. It was one of those I was just blindly doing it, and I looked down and instead of having the ridge of the stitch part popping up, it was getting covered up. I just went the wrong way.
Hmm.
Yeah. Don't I don't understand
Don't
it
try to
now.
think it out.
No.
Just
Yeah.
because it as long as because you're going to turn it under, it
Right.
doesn't really matter unless you're going to keep it out for decorative purposes.
No.
Right.
But it wasn't consistent, so that drives me nuts. So I had to tear it out.
Oh, of
I can't
course.
help it. But I'm talking about this when you're covering the ring. For people who don't know, you're covering the ring, and then you fill in the center with all kinds of things. But first, you have to
Right.
cover that ring all the way around. Um,
Right.
yeah,
Right. So yeah, and I find that relaxing. And when we just had a class with Catherine Redford, with the Embroidery Guild here locally, and um, people weren't pulling it tight enough. So they would go show them their ring, show her the ring, and she'd like shove all this stuff together. She goes, "Oh, you got a long way to go."
uh,
And then they would run out of thread.
yeah,
And
Hmm.
if you run out of thread, you can make it so you restart,
right. But it
but
ain't
you do
worth
have
it.
a bump. And so, yeah, she highly recommended not doing that. Now, I just try to get enough to wrap around the ring all the way around. And then I don't care if I have to do the spokes is what they're called, the little spokes.
Yeah,
I don't care if the spokes don't I can do them in a different color. I don't care. That one doesn't have spokes in it. Go down. That one has
Yeah.
spokes.
Oh, that's really pretty.
yeah,
Oh, thanks. So, but I don't, so I don't care so much if I run out of thread when I'm getting ready to do the spokes. And I'm not too particular if my spokes aren't exactly even. I try to make them as even as possible. If not, I call it a design element.
A,
If you
sure.
a
flip it to the
feature.
other side, a feature is a design feature. So flip it to the other side of it. Not, yeah.
There you
And
go.
look at the top. That one. See how it's off center,
Yeah,
off
yeah.
kilter? Okay.
That
Yeah.
works.
It works.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was when I was weaving, I realized, oh, it's because my spokes weren't in the center. And and you fiddle with them to get them there. And I think that's a matter of practice.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're fun to do.
So now on this one, then you chose not to turn the knot part of the blanket stitch back.
That's right, because I like the buttonhole going around.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just like how it looks.
Oh,
And
and you did that on
I
this
don't,
one too. I see that. Okay.
right, right. I don't normally flip them under. I know you're supposed to, but I like that ridge.
Yeah.
So, and that's all just drizzle stitch going because I knew I was going to attach it to my fabric. I just did, I put it on and then did the drizzle stitch through it.
So
Okay.
technically, that's a wrapped ring, not a Dorset button.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
But these are cool.
Yes, Sandy, they used bone.
Right. But most of the, even some of the little ones that have French knots in them, I did do a wrapping around with them. I can see the wraps that I put on them. But yeah, Dorset buttons are fun.
So if people are interested in uh, seeing more Dorset buttons, there is a Facebook group for Dorset buttons, and there's some really amazing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also a woman in the UK that does a newsletter. It's Henry, I think you talked to her.
We did.
Henry Button,
Yeah,
Henry
we did.
Button
Hmm.
Company or something like that. It's
Yeah. No,
she,
we did talk to her. Yeah.
yeah, her newsletter isn't real regular, but it's always interesting when she sends one out. And she's got lots of, I can't remember if she's got tutorials on her website, but uh, I think she's got some books.
Yeah.
Anna McDowell is the one that we talked to. Henry Buttons is her name. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. November 2, 2022. November 27, 2022. Amazing stuff. Yeah. Anna McDowell.
Hmm.
Yeah. Can I share my screen? That would be really cool if I could do that. It'll take half an hour. Never mind. I'm not gonna. But yeah, Anna McDowell. Yeah, she was great.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're just a cool little thing. And and I learned something else. For these, we use a number 12 pearl cotton.
Hmm.
And I had a gray spool and a couple of ecru and, nothing exciting. So I thought, all right, I'm going to order some. Well, then I learned how few number 12 pearl colors there are in DMC. There's not a lot. But then I thought, well, somebody's making number 12 pearl cotton that is a lot. Valdani.
Mm-hmm.
Valdani, yeah. So then I got carried away. Well,
Oh, well, it's not water lilies, it's not watercolors, it's the other
what's the third one?
Wildflowers.
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 They're good for wrapping,
Oh, are they?
Yes. Uh-huh.
so it can match your needlepoint. Those are
Presencia
nice.
also has a good selection of number
Oh, do
12,
they?
although
Okay.
they don't have um, variegated. They they do have variegated threads, but they're kind of monochrome,
Uh-huh.
one color.
Yeah.
It's,
I like this
so
one.
not like the
That
Valdani.
was
Yeah,
neat.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the same one I used on my round. That
Oh,
was
is it?
supposed to be a heart. It looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are sources for the number 12 pearl out there. DMC isn't the best one.
No. I was surprised. I thought I would be able to choose from 100 of the colors, and there just aren't even that many. So, but,
Valdani and Presencia.
okay, I have to check that out. I just found Valdani.
Uh,
That was what I wanted, so it worked.
yeah, Colonial Needle carries Presencia.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
oh, there's Robin. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Thanks,
okay.
Robin.
I'll have to check that out. Because then it was fun because I didn't care what the colors were, so I was just going through and picking out ones that look cool and yeah, send them to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, why not? Why not? So
I like your
yeah.
shuttle though, Gary. I like that shuttle you made.
Yep, it works. It
Yeah.
works. I'm going to do another one that's about 2/3 of that, and see if that works better. And but yeah, it was 15 minutes down in the old workbench with a file and yeah, it worked.
Hmm.
And it satisfied my I gotta have it now mentality at the moment. So
So I think Sue Spargo carries some of Gina B's
good
stuff.
to know. Good to know. I did not look there.
She might have the shuttles.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
haven't
point.
looked for a while, so.
Yeah.
But I think she's got some of her books, at least, and some of her other tools. She has lots of tools available for the different techniques that she does.
Yeah. This is the one I'm using. Gina Barrett's
Hmm.
um, Dorset rings, and then I got this one too. But I have not been able to, without ordering from Gina and paying all the shipping, I've not been able to find the blanks for these thread wrap buttons.
I
Yeah.
can't remember what I used for those because I've made one.
Okay.
Now, what did I use? I can't remember.
I'd like to know.
I'll have to look. I'll have to go
Yeah.
back downstairs in the basement and find it. Yeah, what fun.
Hmm.
But that because what when we talked to Gina, what she'd done a button every day for a year, wasn't that the deal?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think
More,
so.
more than once. More than once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible
Yeah.
stuff.
Those are. Yeah. Here again, you can really have fun with color.
Yes. And then she's got all the stitches in there. Shows you how to do everything. And the video, and she has a whole bunch of videos too, that are really good. But yeah, look at these. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
those are fun. They're fun to
I'd
make.
like to know what blanks you're using for thread wrapped, because I'd
Yeah,
like to try
I've
that
only done
too.
it. I've only done it. I've only done one, and I can't remember what I used. So I'll have to do some. Let me make myself a note because I won't remember. Thread wrap buttons.
So for people who don't know, these thread wraps, that's a flat. It's a flat disc with a hole in the middle, like just drilled out in the middle, and then you work it from there. A different technique, just a different technique. Where's a picture of the? And somewhere, I think it was probably Gina when I was watching her video. She was referring to somebody who had made Dorset buttons for all the Harry Potter movies or for a bunch of them.
Oh,
Which, there's a contract to get, huh? Hey, will you make me a
yeah. No
bunch
Yeah.
of
kidding.
buttons? Jeez. Yeah. Well, I know, Robin. Okay, enough from you, Robin. Stop it. Enough. Yeah, I did. I bought actually a couple of overdyes. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this one here. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You caught me. I did. I just thought it'd be fun to wrap a thing and see what happens with the colors. Yes. Um, you're right, Robin. Yep. So anyway, and Gina Barrett, we interviewed her. I don't know how long ago it was, but tremendous lady, and she
Yeah.
has all the stuff. Yeah. Um, for that. So, and then we got to get to what time is? Oh, we got. Um, if it was 8:30, I was going to scream. Because I got to hear about your painted canvas, Cindy. But the other thing I'm doing that I'm starting is I think we talked about. I forget when we talked about this. Is the Steuart reticule? How do you say that? Do you say that?
Steuart
Right.
reticule.
Is that what you
Right.
say it?
Yep.
Yes.
From the Inspirations magazine, and I got the threads for it.
No, that's so
Anxious
pretty.
Anxious to start that.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
Be pretty
Small,
on a box.
I know. I thought about that. Smaller project, but some fairly sophisticated stitches. So, and I'm going to do it on Russian tea cake
Oh, that's nice.
because it just calls for a cream linen. So
Yeah.
this is I guess it's
Hmm.
37. Yeah, 37 count The sample is 36 counts, so that's doesn't matter. But yeah. So yeah.
Did you
Okay,
find
so
the pearl cotton for that matches that the terracotta? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. I did. I'm set. Yeah.
Sue
So
Spargo
that's
does have the supplies.
hmm.
Sue Spargo does carry the supply Dorset button supplies,
Oh, good.
but you have to search for it. It's not in her, at least I just in looking at her online list of stuff, I didn't see it. So I just searched for Dorset button. And she does have shuttles. She has a picture of one that's done with petite very velvet
Really.
to wrap the ring.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I've done it with like yarn, like a fuzzy yarn.
Okay.
It was it was way I kept it. It's way too fuzzy for what I was going to use it for, and I just happened to have a yellow.
Uh huh.
But I've thought about revisiting that in a different color and a different thread. Think of it with like a cry neck, wrapping the ring in a cry neck, especially mine are across the room. Some of those, I have some color complements when she was still dyeing
Hmm.
some of those ribbons, maybe making the outside sparkly and then maybe doing the weaving, the spokes
Mm-hmm.
with normal color, more solid, but then you'd have that sparkle around the edge
Yeah.
because all
Right.
that is a buttonhole. So
Sure.
it's not like you're dragging it through something,
Right.
Right.
which is the
Right.
problem with the Crynex and stuff.
She
I
also
pulled.
has the plastic rings.
Oh, does she? I pulled
Oh,
these out, and no,
Yeah.
Robin, I did not buy these. These were given to me. But these are wools, and I
oh,
thought once I
mhm.
got going and had at least a minimum amount of skill level
Sure.
with it, that wool would be a
Yeah.
nice option. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So fun stuff for Dorsets. So okay, now I got to go look because I would really like to try thread wrap, but you got to find the blanks. Um,
She does not have those.
okay, it's too bad.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure the trick is knowing what to call them.
yeah, and I didn't
They're
know what to search for. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Does does the book ha- have a name for them?
I don't know. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. They're
there's something.
molds. They're called molds, spelled British, Mould, and that got me nowhere.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
but and then you can get for the thread wrapped ones, you can get ones that have a like a half dome and do that. But
Oh,
Uh-huh.
you know what you need? Okay, I'm on Sue Spargo's site because you guys have started something bad in my small brain. Um,
ooh, Jan says there's starter kits on Etsy.
oh, maybe that won't work. Never mind. These are actually different. These are not the right thing. Oh, starter kits. Hmm.
Okay, thanks, Jan. I'll look those up. I just want the blanks, and I thought, oh, I can make the blanks, and I thought, how am I going to cut discs? You know,
3D print. You need a
no,
3D printer.
no, I'm not going down that road. No, no, I am not playing that game. Mm-mm. No. Oh, does it? I didn't get all the way to the back. I mean, I don't have a problem getting them from Gina. It's just that the postage is so high
Right.
from England that I just can't justify it for little buttons, you know? So, I don't know.
They look like they're washers.
I know, but I don't want
Why
to use.
couldn't you use a
I don't want to
lightweight
use.
washer?
I don't want to use galvanized steel though. That'd be hokey, wouldn't it?
I'm gonna have to go look and see because I think I don't. I know I didn't buy. I think I just went to Max's.
you raided Max's hardware box is what you did, and he's going to have to fix something in the house, and he's going to know
He's
he
gonna,
had a washer, and he's not going to be able to find it, and it's going to be your fault, and you're going to be in the corner going, "It wasn't me, it wasn't me, it was me."
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen there. I know that routine.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Some are hollow brass.
She's looking at Anna McDowell's site, Etsy site.
Oh, okay.
You can buy
That's
plastic
UK.
washers.
Oh, that are solid
Oh,
except for a little hole in the middle, Tim.
All right, Tim.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're right, Cindy. You just got to know what to ask for, what the query is, and then you can find them. I
Plastic
know.
washers. Yeah.
So, okay, Ace Hardware then. I just don't want to use galvanized steel washers.
Yeah, they might be too heavy. Look up
Yeah.
nylon wash. Oh, okay. I'm going to write that down.
Okay, Tim.
Nylon.
All right, way to go.
nylon washers.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right. Deb DeCrane, be ready. We're going to have to play.
This is quickly getting out of control, isn't it?
Yeah.
Too bad Dennis, her husband used to work at a hardware store. He
Oh,
retired recently, or
oh,
we'd send him off to find him.
yeah. See, that's the thing, Jan. Exactly. For $3 worth of washers, you pay $22. Yeah, I can't
No.
just to play. I can't do that. I can't justify that. No. So, um, yeah, no. Okay. All right. I got to learn about this. Okay. Cindy started a painted canvas. William Booth Draper has both bone and round molds. All right.
I can't be able to read my writing now.
Is that Pat? Is that in the States?
Master enabler.
Oh,
Who would
I've
that be?
already, Robin. I've already looked into getting those. Just sit tight, Robin. That idea has not fallen on the floor. That's I've already started. Yeah, no, coming up. Buckle up. Yeah, if they're in the state, that's the thing. You know, it's just the shipping and everything is just so much anymore that little stuff like that you just can't justify
Right.
the cost. So, yeah. All right, I got to hear about this, Cindy.
Yeah, I want to see this
Whoops.
canvas.
Okay. So I haven't started
Amazing.
it yet.
Oh,
That's all right.
Yeah. It's called Garden
That's
Mafia.
it's cool.
I
Yeah.
love the border colors on it, how it's washed.
Yeah. And you know what she did on those?
This is
Mm.
Ruth Schmuff. Schmuff? How do you say it?
Schmuff.
Schmuff.
Schmuff. The borders are all beaded.
Oh no.
Oh, like what do you mean all beaded? Like beaded solid? No.
It's not like basket weave beaded. You see the color. And it's very much a, oh, is that a dark green or a chartreuse or a blue, you know? Um, and then there's some red beads because there's little areas of red and there's white beads. So the so Ruth likes her bling.
Yeah.
So the black and white
Yeah.
border is
Mm-hmm.
all beads, and those are beaded closely together. Oh, Vanessa went to high school with Ruth.
Wow.
Small
Wow.
world.
That's cool.
And And then, so what she does is it's come up, go over one thread, put on a bead, go over another thread, go down and under two. And so it's a bead every two threads going vertically, and then you do it uh, vertically, horizontally, and then you do it vertically.
Uh-huh.
Direction challenged. Yes, you can use brass curtain rings
Okay.
for Dorset buttons.
Okay.
And so this is a class, and the threads and everything came in this beautiful pouch.
I mean,
And
this is full tilt. Go back to the canvas. Just the way she has the canvas edged is top drawer. Holy
oh yeah,
smokes.
this, so apparently the whoever used to make the machines to tape the edges is no longer around.
Oh,
So
great.
now this is bias tape that's zigzagged on. You can see the zigzag
Oh,
stitches
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Man, that's fancy.
Yeah. So I think a lot of shops are doing that these days.
Oh,
You know, if their tape machine is broken,
yeah.
you know, that this is about as quick. Maybe not quite as quick as the tape machine, but
Yeah.
and you have to have a sewing machine. There is a magnet,
Oh, with the of the thing. Yeah. Cool.
a needle minder, and then the needles are on the back.
There we go.
I did not know that Radiance comes in a mini.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
So I knew about the 13 and the 14. This one is called Mini, and it's see if I can get the thread out here.
So it's thinner than the ones we saw at Stitcher's Garden.
Yes. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
I have some of the 18, but not handy. So this is looks like 3 strands.
So would it be about the same weight as like a bijou
Yes.
or thinner? Oh, okay. Like,
hmm
okay,
It's
that's
not
nice.
it's not as thin as blending filament, but it's not much bigger.
Mm.
Might be fairly close to. I think it's a little thinner than what uh, Krista
Oh, her
Krista's new
metallic.
metallic
Uh
thread.
huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. So there's beading thread in here. There is one skein of silk. And I can't remember where this is used. So I only have part of the kit. This is a 2 session class, and we had the first session and was a Zoom session
Yeah.
uh, last Sunday, and the next one is in May. And so I'll get the rest of the kit.
Okay.
And
But by the rest of the kit, it's more threads.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So here, and you might be able to, I don't know, you might be able to see this better on her photo. So here's this, these are the, no, that one is, I don't think there's any stitching on that one. on the this is the instructions, the stitch guide
Oh, okay.
for the first part of it. But you can see this photo was taken after she had already stitched. Can't really see the beads. There you can see the red ones. You can see how those are stitched on.
Yeah.
And then this pattern in the background here is done with the gold radiance. So
Oh,
she likes open stitches that really show the she doesn't cover canvases with stitching and cover up all of the wonderful variation in colors.
yeah.
The birds I expect will be more heavily stitched, and she does not like basket weave. She says you will never see me do basket weave. In fact, the um, the beads in the black and white border are just continental stitch. That's how she put
Oh,
them on.
oh.
So she went all the way across. One it's I don't know one white, two black, one white, two black, one white, two black.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's a cool canvas because there's area to stitch.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yes,
not forced to do tent stitch just because of so much detail.
yeah. I you know it just caught my fancy because the birds are so cool.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
They really have attitude, and so I haven't started it yet because I needed stretcher bars and I ordered adjusta frames,
Oh, okay.
and I think they're already in the mail.
Yeah. Hurry up.
Yeah, they're. I mean, it's not like I don't have other stuff to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, right, right.
It's just really cool.
Yeah.
So, because Ruth does these all the time. She used to have a shop a long time ago. Then she shut her
Yes.
shop, and now she just does these classes. She's been doing them for several years. Because when we first started early on, I tried to get her to do a show, and I could never get her to do a show. But I remember when she shut the shop down and just said, "I'm just going to do classes." And then she was just
Mm-hmm.
doing classes in the building. And now, with pandemic and everything, obviously you can do them online. But she was
Mm-hmm.
just doing them in her building because she's in
Mm-hmm.
Maryland, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Because I went to her shop once when I was in Baltimore. I think I drove to her shop wherever it was. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I was there once too.
yeah.
And now I think everything is in her home.
Oh, is it?
I mean, she said, she doesn't have a retail shop, but on her second floor she has everything that she
Uh huh.
needs,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when she gets new canvases in. And so this is called it's called a mystery class. I'm not sure why it's a mystery class other than you only get part of it. You get it in parts.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She's done
And
some
and
cool
it's
ones.
just two parts. She has done some really cool ones.
I the one that's tempted me lately is she had a robot one because
I
I
know.
live among engineers. She'd done two robot ones, and the what she did to embellish those robots just blows me away. I mean, sh
Hmm.
because they're busy canvases, and you look at them and you think, how will you do that? How will you make those? And she did. Look him up. It's on her. If you go to her sites, I have to go every now and then. I go back and like look at them, um, and then I look at the blog. I think is where they're at, and you go scroll back
Yeah.
through. I
Hmm.
did get one of Kimberly Smith's. Is that her name?
Hmm.
The
I think so.
dragons. I got one of the dragons, and I just got it as a kit. I didn't get it as a class,
Yeah.
and of course, I have not
Yeah.
stitched it yet.
The classes are still available after the fact. You
Hmm.
can go, and even the mysteries, once they're done, you can go and buy the canvas and the kit and the uh, stitch guide. You just don't get the class. She is a hoot. She gave us um, size 0 beading thread to put the beads on, and it's white. And she said, if you don't like that, you can use invisible thread, but you're going to hate it. And she says, what she says to do is, take like 2 yards of the beading thread and double it, for the thread your needle and then bring the ends down together. So you're using two strands of this really fine beading thread. And it is visible if you look closely. But once you get both the vertical and horizontal beads in there, you don't really see it. And she says, just trust the process. And she talked about the beads. Some of the beads are Miyukis, and Miyukis tend to be very, very consistent in size and shape. Some of them are Tohos, and it's just what their bead supplier can get.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any control over that. The Tohos are not quite as consistent, and so some of them will be they'll lay just a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
And she says, don't worry about it. Just just trust the process. Just do it. But she's really good about telling you when you can drag your thread across part of the canvas, because she does have so much open canvas. She did say, now she does not drag her thread across the canvas when she's stitching, because she photographs these in process, and you would be able to see that thread if it had been drug across the back of a bird.
Yeah.
So she doesn't do that, but she did tell us that we could drag the thread behind the bird's legs.
Oh, okay.
Because those are going to be completely filled in. That's just two canvas rows.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. She said we could drag behind these. Yeah, so
cool.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, well, it's a great canvas, that's for sure. It's a lot of fun there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Vanessa here. Yeah,
So,
north of Baltimore, Lutherville. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how far have you gotten on Land of the Free?
Well, probably as much as. Well, actually, no. I actually did some. A little bit.
Nice.
Started laying the what you call it?
Yeah. Neon rays.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Always a pleasant experience. Yeah. Got a reasonable job on it. Worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It does. What I found is that it's one of those threads that looks nice from a certain angle. I mean, so the ones that are going this way look really good. The ones that are going this way don't look so good.
Isn't that the
until you
truth?
turn it, and then it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just the nature of the thread.
Right.
And the way the light hits it. I mean, stranded threads and any kind of thread it's the same thing is going to happen.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that when I was doing this, this is the first time that was a Sue Reed tip to use glue stick on the ends. I had never done that. I didn't know that was a thing. What a difference that makes. Makes it much on the annoyance scale. It drops it a couple points easily.
Yeah.
But it's still an annoying thread. It's just the trouble. It's annoying thread to stitch with, but it's worth it when you're done because it looks really cool. So you just say, grit your teeth and go for it. Yeah. But
Hey, you want to see mine?
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, Cindy, look at you.
She's zooming.
Sorry to yell in the speaker here. Holy smokes, you've been flying.
Bring it
Yeah,
up a little.
I can't.
There you
There
go.
we go.
Wow.
Nice job. Looks
Wow, that
really
looks
good.
great.
And are you pulling your own threads? Did you?
No, I'm using her threads.
Okay.
That looks great.
It is fun to do.
Yeah. Wow.
I do love her pieces. They're just, someone says it's like eating popcorn. You get a little bit done, you think, oh, I'll just do another little bit. I'll just move over here and do this little bit.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Right.
oh, I finished that little bit. Maybe I'll go over here and try this bit. Because she's
So,
it's always changing stitches on it.
right.
And it's just enough interest.
This is my travel piece,
Oh, is it?
which is why I've got so much done on it,
Okay.
because we stitch at the library every Tuesday. And then we did a stitch in public last Saturday. We go to other things where we're stitching. And so this is what I've been taking to stitch on, because
Yeah,
I can
that's
see
great.
it. And most of the time I can count okay.
But
Although,
look at how much better it looks than the picture. You know,
oh yeah,
what a difference.
yeah, the colors are much
So
more vibrant.
rich. Yeah. That's the
Yeah,
trouble with these pictures is they just don't come close. Yeah.
Right.
well, it's a picture and then it's
Yeah.
printed and,
Yep.
you know,
Yep. Oh, I
yeah,
know. At the time you get to the final product, there's so many iterations that it just takes away from it. And if you don't start with a really good photo, uh,
right.
but then when
Right.
you see it stitched, it's like holy smokes, that thing is vibrant
Mm-hmm.
and it just jumps. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why models, sell so many patterns.
Mhm.
When you
Yep.
see something stitched in a store,
Yep.
uh, I have bought a lot of patterns because they had a
Yeah.
model of it
Yep.
in the
Right.
store.
Makes all
Yeah.
the difference. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I would say I'm not halfway done, but I'm halfway through so she labeled each box with letters, and it is A through Z.
Mhm.
And I just finished L.
Okay.
So I'm about halfway through the alphabet.
Yep. All right.
But a little, not quite halfway for the
Yeah.
amount of stitching
Yeah.
that's left.
Yeah. It's a cool piece. All right.
It
8:33. We
is.
better stop.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. So I think tonight successful enabling all the way around.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think we cost people some money, so I'm glad.
And
Yeah,
and they helped us. And they helped
they
us.
did.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Hmm.
Okay. That's it. Sunday is Brenda Stimson Poppy Monk Needlework Kits. We've got 2 more Fiber Talk Canvas shows recorded and ready to go. So that'll be the 3rd Wednesday. So a couple weeks we'll have that. And send your ideas. If you needlepoint ideas, questions, we turn those into shows. So send them in. Very helpful when you do that. That's it. We're out. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.